Hello, welcome to my live video. I hope you guys are there because I'd invited everyone. So today I'm going to talk about, I think only two major issues have happened today. One was the US elections, another one was the ripple effects in Kenya. Small ripple effects, but still worth talking about. So let me start with the US elections. So right now, Democrats are touting this as a big win. They say that they have won the House actually, which is very nice for them. Republicans have increased their Senate majority, which is nice. Again, good for them. But there's some things we need to notice, right? We need to see. Like number one, according to a BBC analysis sometime back, October 30th, there are 45 toss-up seats in the House of Congress, right? And the figure that I have right now is that the Democrats have only increased their majority by, I think, only two, because I'm getting to 220 Democrats to 203 Republicans. Of course, more are coming, but still, if Republicans had 45 toss-ups and Democrats only secured even 17 of them, then that's not a win. It's not really a win. And still, they can't do anything because the Republicans control the Senate. So what happens from there? So I think that's the US elections. Again, I'd want to add, because the media, I'm sure, will be hyping up how Trump lost and all of those things. But if you look at it, like he said in a tweet, there have been 5 times in the last 105 years that an incumbent president has won seats in the Senate in the off-year election, like in the midterms right now. So 5 times, right? 105 years. That's 17 presidents. 17 presidents, and Trump is one of the only ones to have done this. So I think it's a good day for him, and he's wise to be happy about it. So I think I'll just leave it at that when it comes to the democratic elections. So what's at stake when it comes to that? Okay, it's quite simple. The Trump policies are at stake. What policy are we talking about? We are talking about taxes. Some things that we need in Kenya, right? Because we don't have, the government is increasing our taxes to pay off debts, that much we know. And we need to find a system that works, because our current system does not work, not at all. And if the US system works, then we have an example where we can show others, look, he reduced taxes, this and this happened. We also need other policies, like we need to protect our markets. Right now, Uhuru is trying to reduce the fish. What was it? Yeah, he was trying to ban fish from China because it's destroying our market, and it's also, I think, a bit dangerous. And what we're finding is that we can't really do that because China is too powerful. It's really powerful. So what happens? We stay with our fish, and then our markets die, and we still import Chinese goods. At the end of the day, we're building China. We're making China great again, which is a very, very bad thing. But if we see that we can actually have some kind of like protectionism for the time being, and then we learn how to work with that, we build our industries, we build our markets, and then only after that do we start engaging others in sort of like a free trading environment. So we need an example. We need people to see that you can actually stand up and be strong, because it's a bit hard. And then, yeah, after that, we see things will work out. So actually, that's why I support Trump and his policies. Of course, I support other social policies like the Mexico City policy, which ended support for abortion in foreign countries. Like in Kenya, we have Marie Stopes, and it's supporting abortion, and I really, really don't like it. But hey, what can we do? So his agenda is at stake, but what he can do is that what Obama actually did. He can move through executive order instead of moving through the House. That's a bit dangerous, because now it means the next president might reverse his policies the same way Trump reversed Obama's policies. So that's another thing. Anyway, so I think on that we are okay. I want to move to something else. There's been some historic developments thus far. I think as East Africans, we should be happy about some things. There's a lady known as Ilma Omar. She becomes the first Somali American elected to the Congress. She stayed at Dadaab camp, I think, was it 4 years? People, yeah, I've heard that it's 4 years at Dadaab camp. So, yeah, I think Kenyans are trying to take ownership of her somehow and to share it with Somalia. There's an Eritrean, his name is Joy Neguse. He becomes the first Eritrean American elected to Congress. So that's a bit interesting. There's Rashida Talib. She becomes the first Muslim Palestinian American elected to Congress. So all of these are good first time developments, so that's nice. Here's the danger though. Let me use an example of Rome. The Visigoths were sort of like a nomadic tribe, and they were to the north of Rome, beyond the Danube, right? And they were escaping the Huns, because the Huns are really these big bad warriors, and they were coming down, putting pressure on the Visigoths, and the Huns were ruthless, completely ruthless. And what happened is that the Visigoths had to go somewhere, so they moved into the Western Roman Empire, and thus began the fall of Rome. Hello, Inzaghi. And thus began the fall of Rome. And what happened was that the Visigoths never assimilated into Rome. They never became Roman. We need to know that what happened years before. Rome invaded Hispania, it invaded Gaul, modern day France, it invaded other Germania, Britannica. All of them assimilated sort of like in Roman society, and it remained stable for some time, including Syria and other nations, right? But as soon as the Visigoths came, hello Doreen. As soon as the Visigoths came, they never assimilated into Roman society, and that became dangerous, because you have two nations in one country, and eventually there's going to be a fight. Who's going to win, right? Like when it comes to Rashid Talib, one of the interesting things about her was that when she won, she waved the Palestinian flag. She didn't wave the American flag. So what would be her agenda going forward? When it comes to Ilhan Omar, in one of her tweets, she said that Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah awaken the people and help them see the evil doings of Israel. So of course now we have a conflict of ideas, because most of the US is pro Israel. Now we have let's say new people with new ideas, and now they are sort of like on the other side of the Israeli debate. What happens there? What happens then? There'll be a clash, and eventually if the US does not have a confluence of values, then it will exactly what happened to Rome will happen to them. The Visigoths sacked Rome in 410 AD, and Rome was never the same again. And that's how empires fall. You get? So things need to change. America needs to study itself to see how it can become one. And if it doesn't, then America will fall. And Rome fell. So anyway, I want to go to another issue. What happens was that there's another lady, I think in Twitter, her name is Ubax. So she was really bitter about how Kenyans treated Somalis, and rightfully so, because we had concentration camps for Somalis, which I think was a bit inhumane. And yeah, she talked a lot of bad stuff about Kenya and all that stuff. Some of them justified, some of them not. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up. I'm bringing this up because we need to understand that we are not really a nation, right? Like the English are English, the Scots are Scots, right? The French are French. We are not really a nation. We are a community of nations. And eventually, some things might spring up, like affiliations. Like Somalis have some affiliation to Somalia. So what happens when Somalia becomes stable? We must remember that during the Shifta Wars, most of Somalia wanted to move to Somalia. So what would happen then? I don't know. We'll see about that. But anyway, I wanted to give an idea that we might be living with the refugees. we might believe in, but their feelings, their sentimentalities towards the nation might be a bit different. And it's something that we need to check and to bring healing, I think, to everybody, so that yeah, we see how it goes. Okay, I don't think I had much for today. I really wanted to take just 15 minutes. I wanted to add a few things, right? Every person who voted against Kavanaugh, every Democrat lost the elections. We have Donnelly, Hitkamp, McCaskill, and Nilsson. The Democrat who voted for Kavanaugh survived. So eventually you might see that the Democratic majority in the Senate, might, in the House of Representatives, might not really work, because at the end of the day, if you oppose Trump, then the voters have shown that they will show you the door, as these Democratic senators lost the race because they voted against Kavanaugh. So that's just something I wanted to add. So this is my first video. Tell me the suggestions. I really need to know about the network. It was just an off kind of idea. I noticed that I hadn't tried something on Safaricom, so yesterday I tried and thought maybe I should do videos. I've had a suggestion on a YouTube channel. I will be working on that. And then for the other people who will be concerned, like Nasha Kulanki, Naanza kukula. So anyway, thank you guys. I need your comments. We'll talk. Goodbye.